The savanna stretched out before them, a golden sea of tall grass that rustled and swayed in the gentle breeze. The sky above was a vast canvas of blue and white, with fluffy clouds that drifted lazily towards the horizon. But for the small band of hunters, the beauty of the landscape was secondary to the task at hand. Their shoulders ached, their muscles screamed in protest, and the weight of their prize was immense. Yet, a collective sense of triumph and purpose propelled them forward. At the head of the group were two young men, their faces streaked with dirt and sweat, but their eyes gleaming with pride. They bore the heaviest part of the load, the massive head of a giant boar, its curved tusks a testament to its formidable power. The tusks were not just tools for battle, they were a symbol, a story etched in bone and ivory. This was not just a kill, it was a legend in the making. The boar, a creature of myth and legend in their tribe's lore, had been a menace to their village for months. It had ravaged their fields, trampled their crops, and left a trail of destruction in its wake. The elders had whispered tales of its cunning, its ferocity, and its seemingly supernatural ability to evade every trap and hunter. The village had grown hungry, their spirits dampened by the constant threat. A great hunt was declared, a rite of passage for the young men, a mission of survival for the entire community. The hunt had been long and arduous, a chase that had taken them deep into the heart of the savanna. They had tracked the beast for days, following the signs it left behind, a broken branch here, a disturbed patch of earth there, a lingering scent on the wind. The younger hunters, full of youthful bravado, had been eager to confront the beast head-on. But their leader, an old and wise hunter with scars that told stories of their own, had taught them patience, caution, and the value of working as one. He had reminded them that a single spear was no match for the boar's might, but many spears, wielded by many hands, could bring down a mountain. The climax of the hunt had been a whirlwind of motion and sound. The boar, cornered at last near a watering hole, had turned on them with a roar that shook the ground. Its eyes, twin points of red fury, had fixed on the youngest hunter, a boy no older than 16, who had stumbled in his haste. It was a moment of sheer terror, a heartbeat in which life and death hung in the balance. But the other hunters had reacted with the speed of instinct and the precision of a practiced team. A diversion here, a flanking maneuver there, and a final, perfectly timed thrust of a spear had brought the beast to its knees. Now, as they carried their trophy back to the village, the weight of the boar was a physical manifestation of their shared effort and their collective triumph. The rhythmic thud of their feet on the parched earth was a silent drumbeat of victory. The tall grass that brushed against their legs seemed to bow in reverence. The sun, now beginning its slow descent, cast long, dramatic shadows behind them, making their figures seem larger than life. Behind the two young men at the front, others followed, their faces a mix of exhaustion and exultation. One held a simple, stout club, a primitive tool that had proven its worth in the struggle. Another, with a deep gash on his arm, smiled through the pain, the injury a badge of honor. A third, the youngest of the group, looked back at the trail they had blazed, as if to make sure this wasn't all a dream. The journey back was not just a walk, it was a parade. They were not just hunters returning home, they were heroes bringing salvation. The stories of their bravery, their skill, and their unity would be told and retold around the campfire for generations to come. The tusks of the boar would be fashioned into ceremonial tools, a constant reminder of their victory. The meat would feed the village for weeks, and the hide would be used to create warm cloaks for the coming cold season. As they neared the village, a small boy, who had been sent out to look for them, let out a cry of joy. The cry was quickly taken up by others, and soon, the entire village was pouring out to meet them. The sight of their triumph was met with cheers and ululations. Women, children, and elders rushed forward, their faces alight with relief and gratitude. The old hunter, their leader, stepped forward and clasped the shoulders of the two young men at the front. He said nothing, but his eyes, filled with a mixture of pride and emotion, spoke volumes. The hunters, their journey at an end, lowered their burden to the ground. The boar, once a symbol of fear, was now a symbol of hope. The village feasted that night, their bellies full, their hearts light. Around the fire, the hunters recounted their tale, each one adding his own detail, his own perspective, until the story became a living, breathing epic. The young men who had carried the head of the boar were now seen in a new light. They were no longer just boys. They were men, warriors, and providers. They had faced the beast, and they had conquered it. But more than that, they had learned a truth as old as the savanna itself. that true strength lies not in the size of the beast you hunt, but in the unity of the pack that hunts it. The picture was not just of a hunt, it was a snapshot of a moment in time, a moment that would forever be etched in the history of their tribe, a timeless tale of courage, survival, and the enduring power of community.